some strange evolutionary process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Good afternoon and welcome to Sinsheimer Stadium in San Luis Obispo. Tonight the SLO Blues return to Sinsheimer for a rematch with the Santa Barbara Foresters. Last night the Blues kicked off CCL play in Santa Barbara and it was a game to forget for SLO. The Blues only mustered one run against Forester pitching despite drawing 9 walks. The issue was hitting, especially with runners in scoring position. SLO had just 5 hits on the night and stranded 12 runners on base. The Foresters jumped on starter Lucas Alanis early and kept the pressure on, winning in the end 6-1. Now the Blues send Robbie Lardner to the hill this afternoon in the first home CCL game of 2023. The Foresters will counter with Colby Kometko as they try and take both games of this 2-game set. Santa Barbara had 10 hits last night and put bat to ball all game. They only struck out a total of 2 times against Blues pitching. It was a recipe for success and the Foresters came away with an opening day dub. The Blues haven't lost a series all summer. Is today a day of firsts? We're about to find out with first pitch on the way on the SLO Blues streaming network. As we welcome you into the broadcast booth, I'm Jack Smith. Nate Mills will join me in the 4th inning, but the Blues are trying to come away with their first CCL win here today and get a rematch victory against the Santa Barbara Foresters, their rival from down the state. Last night, it was a tough day for the Blues. They struck out a total of 12 times. They only struck out the Foresters 2 times, and that's not a recipe for success if you're trying to come away with a win. It was the first road game for the Blues, so maybe a little bit of jitters there, but now they return back to their home where they are 7-2 this season, playing their 11th game here of the summer. We're going to step away, and we'll come back for the national anthem and first pitch.
evolutionary process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Welcome back to Sinsheimer Stadium on the SLO Blues streaming network. As we prepare for the Blues to take the field, it's the 11th game for the Blues in the summer of 2023. They've got a record of 7-3 and 0-1 in the CCL. As we mentioned earlier on the broadcast, the Blues traveled down to Santa Barbara yesterday and came away with their first loss on the road in their first away game. It was a 6-1 final as the Blues only managed to score 1 run on 5 hits and 9 walks. It was the hitting with the runners in scoring position. 12 runners stranded for the Blues as they look to flip the script today. And all the fans here at Sinsheimer Stadium watching the Blues take the field. We'll let you listen into the rest of the lineup introduction and the national pitch, or the national anthem, with first pitch coming up on the SLO Blues streaming network.
Batting in the number 8 spot, wearing number 27, the first baseman, Luke Pemberton. And filling it out, number 50, the second baseman, Darius Price. Tonight's starting pitcher, the left-hander from Cuesta College, wearing number 11, it's Robbie Lardner. Blues are led by Gene Trader, assisted by Steve Colley, Brian Trainer, Ray Regalado, and Max Loder. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you would please stand and kindly remove your hats as Holly Costello sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets struck the air, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Beautiful anthem. It's a beautiful day here in San Luis Obispo, and it is time for some baseball on the SLO Blues streaming network. We'll take you through the starting lineup for the Santa Barbara Foresters. Leading it off for the second straight day, it's Daniel Patterson, who plays third base and hits in the leadoff spot. Ryan Black, the shortstop from UT Arlington, hits second. Greg Pace from Michigan, the right fielder, hits third. Cleaning it up for the second straight day, it's Will Rogers. He moves from DH to catcher. Max Bellew, the left fielder from Texas, hits fifth. Rocco Garza-Gongora goes from first base to center field. And the player from Oklahoma bats sixth. PK Walsh moves up a couple spots. He DHs from Santa Barbara Community College and hits seventh. Cole Johnson into the lineup for the first time this season from Oklahoma State, plays first and bats eighth. And rounding things out in the ninth spot, it's the second baseman, Gianni Horvat. On the mound for your San Luis Obispo Blues, making his third start, is Robbie Lardner. The left-hander from Cuesta College has a 3.08 ERA and 11.2 innings pitched so far this summer. Leads the California Collegiate League in strikeouts with 17. Standing 6'4", 180 pounds, Lardner gets started with his warm-up pitches. We'll take you around the defense for the San Luis Obispo Blues as well here on the SLO Blues streaming network. In the outfield from left to right, it's Adams, Burns, and Lewis. Pemberton is at first. On the right side with him is Darius Price. Left side of the infield is Darcy and Ricken. And it's Matt Spear making his Blues debut behind the plate. The San Jose State Spartan getting his first start under Dean Trainer. DHing is Jason Hansen. Spear, the lone debut in this lineup for the Blues. Feels like every game now we've got a guy making his first appearance for San Luis Obispo. But Spear, who played for the NCAA tournament, San Jose State Spartans, gets his first start behind the dish for San Luis Obispo. Got in yesterday, traveled with the team, but today gets his first start behind the plate. Lardner continues to warm up as he readies up to face the Foresters here in Game 2 of the CCL Summer for San Luis Obispo in 2023. It's Patterson, Black, and Pace due up here in the first. Spear throws it down, and we're just about ready for baseball on the SLO Blues streaming network. Top of the first inning, just about underway here in sunny SLO. Patterson to lead things off, then Ryan Black and Greg Pace. Patterson, who went 2 for 4 yesterday, the third baseman from Westmont College. Lardner readies up, kicks and deals. And Patterson swings and misses, and that's how this game gets started. First pitch, 2:06 p.m., just about 1 minute late here in San Luis Obispo, and a beautiful day out with temperatures at 64. Patterson lines it up the middle, and he's aboard with another leadoff base hit. Patterson led off the game yesterday with a ground ball to shortstop. He beat it out, and now he's aboard for the second straight day to start things off for the Foresters. And already a runner on. The Foresters had 10 hits yesterday, and they're off to a hot start today as well. After Patterson got on base in yesterday's game, he promptly stole second and came in to score on the next pitch and put the Foresters up 1-0 early against Lucas Alanese. We'll see if he goes here as Lardner picks his way, and he's back in with a dive. Patterson was 2 for 4 yesterday, had 2 stolen bases, and Ryan Black, who's up at the plate now, went 2 for 3, had 2 runs batted in. Lardner delivers, and Black takes a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. Fastball at 86 miles an hour right on the Black. And Ryan Black, the shortstop, behind in the count 0-1. Lardner looks at first. Now comes home. And misses a little bit upstairs with that fastball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Lardner, the Western State Conference Pitcher of the Year this past season at Cuesta College as just a freshman. A real impressive year for the left-hander, who's now making his 3rd start for San Luis Obispo. 1-1. And Black takes another fastball on the inside corner. It's strike 2. Lardner from Templeton, California. As we mentioned, 17 strikeouts across his first 11 2/3 innings pitched as a Blue to lead the CCL. Looking for one here. He deals 1-2, runner on the move. The pitch is outside. Here's the throw down from Spear. And it was a bluff throw. He just tossed it back to Lardner as the count moves 2 balls and 2 strikes. Spear just couldn't get it to second base. Not sure what happened for his first throwdown as a Blue. And they count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Patterson steals second for the second straight day, and he puts himself in scoring position with 1 out. 2-2. Black bends back out of the way of that breaking ball, and it's upstairs, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lardner comes set. Red and blue glove held at his navy belt. Looks back at second, now delivers. And Black pops it up, foul down the third base line. Ricken gives it chase, but it's out of play past the Santa Barbara Foresters bullpen. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Black had 2 singles yesterday. That it seemed like it was death by 1,000 paper cuts for the Blues. They gave up 1 hard single up the middle on a line drive, but all the other hits really were ground balls that just found holes on the infield. Lardner comes set once again, looking in at the left-hand hitter. He comes home, and Black swings and misses, and it pops out in and out of the glove of Spear. And if it was a foul ball, it doesn't matter because Spear caught it, as there's a conversation going on now between the umpires. No matter what, that should be a strikeout. If Black swung and missed, then it's an out either way. But it's hit, and he's out. Spear holds on for strikeout number 1 for Robbie Lardner, and there's 1 away. So just some confusion going on here at Sinsheimer. Dean Traynor hustled out of the dugout really quickly for the Blues, but the call goes the right way. That's the first out of the game. Greg Pace, the right fielder from Michigan, comes up now. 0 for 3 yesterday, but walked 2 times. Lardner looks back at Patterson, now delivers, and spots up on the outside corner. It's no balls and 1 strike. Lardner's walked just 1 batter all summer, and he came in there with that 3-2 fastball to Black and put him away. 0-1. And that changeup is outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Patterson isn't afraid to steal third as well. He's got a lot of wheels and showed him off yesterday in the Foresters' 6-1 victory. Lardner looks back to second. Price flashes his glove, but Lardner dishes home, and it's foul backing out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lardner features a fastball, a changeup, and a curveball. The fastball sitting around mid to high 80s, tops out around 87, 88. But the curveball is the put-away pitch. It's really got great bite down in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Big lead for Patterson at second. Lardner looks him back there and now delivers. Pace takes the curveball. It's upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. little bit high on the breaking pitch from Lardner, and the count evens up. Here's the 2-2. Lardner's caught Patterson in a rundown between second and third. The throw goes to Price. Price is chasing him, tosses to Ricken, who tags out Patterson for the second out. Nice move by Robbie Lardner. Tricked everyone in the stadium, including Patterson at second, and was able to get him in between the second and third base bags. And now he's got a chance to finish this inning while facing the minimum. So Lardner erases the base runner and now looks in with nobody on, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Pace. He deals, and Pace snubs it foul down the first base line, out of play. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes here on the SLO Blues streaming network as Lardner trying to finish the first inning without allowing a run. The Blues allowed 2 runs in the first yesterday and 1 in the second to go down 3-0 early on. 2-2. Pace strikes out swinging. That's the changeup, and it's the second strikeout of the frame for Lardner. And the Foresters do not score. We head to the bottom of the first, and it'll be top of the order for the Blues. Burns, Adams, and Lewis due up when we return. Blues and Foresters in the bottom of the first inning. Here's how the Blues line things up as penned by manager Dean Traynor. Nin Burns again hits leadoff and plays center field. Adams is back in the lineup. TJ Adams from Arizona. He plays left field and bats second. Jariah Lewis still in the 3 spot from San Jose State. He plays right field. Jason Hansen DHing today, hits cleanup. Matt Spear making his Blues debut is behind the dish and hitting fifth. It's J.T. Ricken, the third baseman from Oregon, who hits in the 6th spot. Cody Darcy, Luke Pemberton, and Darius Price round things out and play shortstop, first base, and second base. So the infield making up the bulk of the bottom of the order for the Blues. Here in Game 2 of this 2-game set, we're back at Sinsheimer after playing in Santa Barbara yesterday. And the Blues are readying up to face Colby Kometko, the 6'1", 200-pound right-hander who had a 5.84 ERA in 24 2/3 of an inning this season as a reliever at the University of Nevada. Burns to lead things off here in the bottom of the first for the Blues, who kept the Foresters scoreless back in the top half of this frame. Robbie Lardner with 2 strikeouts, picked a runner off second, and faced the minimum. It's Burns, Adam, and Lewis due up against Kometko. Kometko deals, and Burns takes a fastball inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Kometko back again in the stretch, working primarily from the stretch position, and Burns taps that one to shortstop. Here's the throw across the diamond from the shortstop Black, and it's in time to get the speedy Burns. There's 1 out. So 2 pitches, and Burns is retired for the first out of the game. The defense was excellent for the Foresters yesterday, and a really nice play by the shortstop Black to start things off today. The batter is TJ Adams from Arizona, who takes that fastball inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes on Adams. One out in the inning after Burns hit the ground ball to short. Adams hitting .300 on the summer. 6 hits in 20 at-bats. 1-0. And he hits a high drive to right center field, but it's hanging up for Pace, the right fielder. Only had to move about a step or two to his right, and he puts his glove up to make the catch. There's 2 outs. So with 2 outs, here's Jariah Lewis, 1 for 4 with a run scored yesterday. He hit a single to right field, stole 2 bags, and then scored on a wild pitch for the Blues' lone run of the game. Lewis playing in his 3rd game for the Blues, and I'm sure he wants to hit back here at Sinsheimer, where in his debut, he went 3 for 4 with a home run, a double, and a triple. Not often you see a guy go for 3 legs of the cycle, and the only thing he's missing is the single. Lewis digs in the left-hand batter's box as Kometko looks for the 3rd out of the frame. He deals, and Lewis takes that 2-seamer outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The fastball from Kometko averaging around 88 miles an hour. Another arm with high velocity for the Blues. 2-0 the count on the left-hand hitter from San Jose State, who laces that fly ball back to the screen. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Lewis hit .210 this past season for the Spartans. Hit 2 home runs, had 17 runs batted in. In just 2 games, he's got 3 extra base hits for the Blues. He only had 4 in 38 games played for San Jose State. 2-1, and he takes that one outside. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Lewis is from Alameda, California, playing 40 minutes away from home at San Jose State. Travels down California a little bit here to play for SLO. Infield plays him to pull. Here's a 3-1, and Lewis pops it up foul the other way. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jariah played 4 varsity seasons at Encinal High School, all league in each of his final 2 full seasons. Had to deal with COVID-19 as well. A career .371 hitter, was the Encinal High School Athlete of the Year back in 2020. 3-2, and Lewis takes it low and draws a 2-out walk. So Lewis is aboard, and here comes Jason Hansen, the designated hitter, heading to UC Davis. Hansen's 3 for 17 on the summer. He has hit 2 triples. Both of those came in 1 game, and it was a game he didn't even start. Hit a pinch hit triple. Next time he came up, hit a sinking liner to center field that got by the center fielder for the Solano Mudcats, and he came around all the way to 3rd base. 0-0, Lewis takes off for second. Here's the throw down from Rogers, the catcher. It is not in time. Lewis steals another bag. 2 yesterday, 1 today, and Lewis is on the move and puts himself in scoring position with 2 outs. Fastball was a ball as well, so it's a 1-0 count on Jason Hansen. The count on Hansen as Kometko bends over at the waist and looks for his sign. He stares at Lewis. Now deals. Lewis taking off for 3rd. The throw from Rogers is right on the money and in time. Lewis is out at 3rd, and that ends the inning. 3 hitters come up for the Blues as well, but they do not score. We head to the top of the 2nd. It is still scoreless here at Sinsheimer Stadium.
fact that you and I...
Will Rogers due to lead things off for the Santa Barbara Foresters here in the top of the second inning. It's Rogers, Bellew, and Garza Gongora, the 4, 5, 6 hitters for Santa Barbara against Robbie Lardner, who comes home and misses a little bit high and outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Lardner gave up the single to start last inning, but then picked the runner off second and struck out the next 2 hitters. As he's in there for a strike, it's 1-1. Rogers was 1 for 4 yesterday. The catcher from Arizona State, he DH'd last night. Did have 1 run batted in. 1-1. And he lines that into left field. Base hit. It falls in front of Adams, the left fielder, who comes up, tosses to second, and Rogers is aboard with another leadoff single for Santa Barbara. This was the theme yesterday, the Santa Barbara Foresters jumping on the fastballs early in counts against the Blues. It was Alanese who started for San Luis Obispo yesterday, a strike thrower, and Santa Barbara took advantage. They were swinging early in counts, putting it in play, and that was really the theme of the whole game, as the Foresters only struck out 2 times against Blues pitching. Lardner looks in at the left-hander Max Bellew and misses outside with a fastball. It's 1 ball and no strikes. So Rogers is on, hitting cleanup for the second straight day, and he's got his second hit of the summer. Lardner looks to first, dishes, and it's tapped back over the mound. The shortstop, Darcy, catches it right as he steps on second and throws to first for the double play. Taylor made for the Blues as Darcy was on second base when he gloved that ball. Had the force out there, tossed it across the diamond for the second out, and just like that, there's 2 away. It was just a perfectly placed ground ball for Cody Darcy to come over, field it, and complete the double play with the throw. And things are looking up a little bit for the Blues. Those were the kind of ground balls that were getting through in yesterday's game. Here's Rocco Garza Gongora. Played first yesterday, playing center field today, and he takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. 1 for 5 on the day. He had the back-breaking hit, though. The Blues had come back to bring the game within a couple of runs, make it 3-1, and Gongora hit a 3 RBI double. He checks his swing on the breaking ball there. It's no balls and 2 strikes. But to have a guy that can go from first base to center field, that's some defensive versatility I'm sure the Foresters will take full advantage of this summer. 0-2. And Lardner comes home and misses outside with a fastball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Bellew grounds into the double play. And now Lardner again can get through this inning while facing the minimum to work around the hit. 1-2. It's the curveball, and Garza Gongora fights it foul. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lardner gave up an RBI single in this inning, or a leadoff single in this inning, just the same as he did in the first. But both times the runner's been wiped off the bags. First inning was a pickoff move. Today, in the second inning, a double play. 1-2. Garza Gongora strikes out swinging on the breaking ball. 3 strikeouts through 2 for Robbie Lardner. He works around the hit, and we head to the bottom of the second. It is still 0-0.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working.
Home half of the second on the SLO Blues streaming network, and it's 4-5-6 to up for the Blues, starting with Jason Hansen, the designated hitter heading to UC Davis. After Hansen, it'll be Spear and Ricken. 0-0, and Hansen chops it foul on the check swing. It's 1 ball, no balls and 1 strike. Hansen 3 for 17 on the season, has hit the 2 triples. He was up at the plate when Jariah Lewis was thrown out at third to end the first. 0-1. And Hansen pops it up. Shallow center field. In comes Garza Gongora, who puts his hand up towards the left fielder base to say, I got it. And he makes the one-handed catch. So now we got a debut. It's Matt Spear coming up for the San Luis Obispo Blues. With 1 out in the bottom of the second, Spear, the catcher from San Jose State, making his first appearance at Sinsheimer Stadium and his first appearance in a Blues uniform. Spear hit .247 this past year for the Spartans, 5 home runs, 26 runs batted in. As he takes the fastball outside, it's 1 ball and no strikes. Spear hit 2 3-run home runs in the Mountain West playoffs and ended his season on a high note, the Mountain West Championship All-Tournament team. As a catcher, and he takes another fastball, it's 2 balls and no strikes. San Jose State, the Spartans, won the Mountain West tournament and advanced to the NCAA tournament. And the Blues have 2 Spartans now, and Spear and Lewis, who will be here all summer. 3 balls and no strikes. As Colby Kometko not coming in to the Blue, making his debut. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Three balls, no strikes. The pitch, and Spear watches that fastball down Broadway. It's 3-1. Spear started 49 games, so he was the regular catcher for San Jose State. Had 26 runs batted in on 42 hits. 3-1. And he laces a line drive deep to center field, but not hit hard enough to get over the head of Garza Gongora. Center cut right down the middle of the diamond, and Garza Gongora puts it away for the second out. So Spear hit it well, but got it off the end of the bat slightly, and that's the second out.
How hard does that hit? 8. AJ.
Spear tagged that one 94 miles an hour off the bat. But you hit it in the wrong spot, right at the center fielder. And here's JT Ricken, who fouls it out of play on the fastball. It's 0-1. Feels like that's how it's gone a little bit for the Blues here offensively in 2023 so far. All the balls that they are hitting just rapidly hard, sometimes going right to the defenders. 0-1, and Ricken takes a fastball high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Ricken hitting .222 on the summer, has not played in a couple days. He has 5 runs batted in. That's at the top, near the top of the team leaderboard. 1-1. And Ricken takes the breaking ball down low, 2 balls and 1 strike. The 6'2", 210-pound redshirt freshman from Seattle, Washington, still coming back from injury that he suffered prior to his freshman year at Oregon. 2-1, and he takes a fastball in there for strike 2. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two flyouts to center field here in the second, and Colby Kometko's a strike away from getting through another inning facing the minimum. He deals 2-2, and Ricken takes the breaking ball outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ricken was a part of the Oregon Ducks' 5th-ranked recruiting class. That was nationally back in 2022, but as we've talked about this summer, got injured and had to redshirt, was eventually non-rostered due to his torn hamstring. 3-2, and he takes a fastball inside and called strike 3. The catcher, Rogers, with a big celebration as he leaves and gives a fist bump to Kometko, and that ends the inning. Ricken still can't believe the call as he walks back to the Blues dugout, but that ends the inning. Through 2, it's 0-0 on the SLO Blues streaming network. It's the top of the third inning, and the bottom third of the Santa Barbara Foresters lineup is coming up here against Robbie Lardner, PK Walsh, Cole Johnson, and Gianni Horvat. Here on the SLO Blues streaming network, still scoreless here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Lardner delivers, and the batter Walsh takes that changeup inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Lardner has given up 2 hits, but he's faced the minimum today. 2 leadoff singles by Patterson and Rogers in each of the first 2 innings. And that fastball is inside 2-0. Lardner got Patterson off the bases by picking him off second base and getting him in a rundown, and then a 6-3 double play to Cody Darcy got Rogers erased. As Walsh inside out's a fastball back to the screen. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Blues trying to win their first home CCL game of the year after dropping the first road contest and the opener of CCL play yesterday in Santa Barbara 6-1. 2-1. Walsh swings and misses at the fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lardner now at 20 strikeouts on the summer. That's a CCL leading total. Searching for his 21st and his 4th today. 2-2. That's flown into right. In comes Lewis, the right fielder, who puts up his light blue glove and makes the 2-hand catch for the first out of the inning. So there's one away, and now up comes the 8-hole hitter, Cole Johnson from Oklahoma State. Johnson didn't play in yesterday's game, but gets the start today. The 6'5" right-handed hitter, 230-pound freshman from Oklahoma State. Hailing from Austin, Texas, so he went to play for one of the rival teams. 0-0. And Johnson take the breaking ball outside. It's 1-0. We thank you for joining us on the SLO Blues streaming network, the first home CCL game in the summer of 2023. If you're not here on the stream, I assume you're here at the park. Beautiful crowd again here at Sinsheimer Stadium. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Just about every orange seat here at Sinsheimer is filled, and the grass covered in families as well. Strollers, chairs, blankets, everyone is here in San Luis Obispo to watch the Blues. 2-0. And Johnson pops it up foul. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Maybe there is extra motivation to come today because it is the Foresters, where Santa Barbara, SLO, there's a rivalry there as well, but also the Foresters and the Blues, somewhat of a rivalry. And the Blues trying to get back in this rivalry series after winning just 2 of their last 8 games versus the Foresters. That's fouled on the first base line. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yesterday's game was a good start for Santa Barbara. They struck out 12. They only struck out themselves 2 times, and they came away with a 6-1 victory on 10 hits. Lardner still working his way through the first time through this order for the Foresters. Has a 2-2 count on Johnson. He deals, and Johnson pops it up. This is down the first base line, hooking into right field and foul just past the Blues bullpen. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the umpire tries to throw it to Lardner and tosses it all the way past the second base bag. And Lardner now jogs out there. Cody Darcy lets him get about a foot away from it and says, "I'll pick it up for you." And now the big, tall left-hander for the Blues walks back to the mound with the ball. Two balls, 2 strikes on Johnson, making his Foresters debut here in 2023. It's just Santa Barbara's second game of the summer. It's the Blues' 11th. 2-2. And Johnson wraps it on the ground to short. Darcy blazes on a couple hops, throws across his body in time for the out. There's 2 outs. Lardner inducing weak contact on the ground to short, and Darcy, as sure-handed as they come at shortstop, made the play for the second out of the inning. Gianni Horvat comes up now 1 for 3 in yesterday's game for a member of the UNLV Running Rebels. Second baseman batting 9th comes up against Lardner with 2 outs. Lardner delivers, and Horvat takes a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Horvat, 5'10", 166-pound right-hand hitter. The junior from Santa Clarita, California. 0-1, and Horvat rolls it foul down the third base line. 0-2. Lardner a strike away from going 9 up, 9 down here on the SLO Blues streaming network to try and get the Blues back up in the bottom of the third. Working from the third base side of the rubber, He kicks and deals. And Horvat strikes out swinging. 4 strikeouts through 3 for Lardner, and it's still scoreless here at Sinsheimer Stadium. We head to the bottom of the third. It's 7-8-9 coming up for the Blues. Darcy, Pemberton, and Price when we return on the SLO Blues streaming network. Cody Darcy at the plate to start off the bottom of the third inning for the Blues. It's Darcy, Pemberton, and Price, 7-8-9, as the Blues have gone 6 up, 6 down on offense. The only runner that's reached base was Jariah Lewis, who was then thrown out trying to steal third after he walked with 2 outs in the first. 0-0 to Darcy, who chops it foul down the third base line. It's 0-1. Darcy played yesterday, played third base. Today he's back at his natural position, shortstop. He was 0 for 2 with 2 walks in the 6-1 loss last night. Might be a record high crowd at Sinsheimer today for this season, as that 0-1 changeup is low, 1 ball and 1 strike. The highest attendance so far this year, 1,552 for the Blues back on Sunday against the Mudcats. This, I think, certainly rivals that, as Darcy chases that off-speed pitch and taps it foul. It's no balls and 2 strikes. And it's a Mimosa Sunday as well, so the fans that are out here get treated to some baseball, some bubbly, and a little bit of orange juice. They just want the Blues to score, so they get the Blues score, you score pricing. 1-2, and Darcy takes the changeup in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. A reminder, Nate Mills will join me in the top of the 4th inning. I'm Jack Smith on the SLO Blues streaming network. We thank you for spending your Sunday watching Blues baseball here on YouTube. 2-2 the count on Darcy, who chops it foul again. It's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kometko has faced the minimum, just as Robbie Lardner has. Lardner's gone 9 up, 9 down for the Blues on defense. And the left-hander, in his 3rd start for San Luis Obispo, giving the Blues a chance. And SLO trying to find the bats and pick up the offense. Just 1 run yesterday on 9 walks and 5 hits. 2-2, and Darcy takes it inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kometko was a reliever this past year at Nevada, but here making a start to open up his summer. He made 29 appearances and threw 24 2/3 innings. So not a bolt guy. 3-2. And that's a no-out walk for Cody Darcy. Nice eye for the 5th-year senior from Arkansas State, and he's aboard with no outs. But Kometko here working in his 4th inning, or his 3rd inning now. Did not throw deep into games at all for Nevada, coming in normally out of the bullpen. So this might be a completely new environment for him. And the Blues want to take advantage here in the 3rd of the no-out walk. Darcy is aboard, and a quick pick over there, and he's back in safe. We saw a lot of stolen bases yesterday. The Blues stole a handful of their own, and the Foresters were running early as well. Burns had 2, Lewis had 3, as Pemberton rolls it on the ground. This could be 2. Underhand flip to Horvat, who throws to first in time for the out, a double play. So the Blues get a runner aboard, and then quickly Darcy is erased on the double play by Pemberton. And now you still have another chance, if you're Kometko, to go 9 up, 9 down with the 9-hole hitter Darius Price coming up.
Second baseman from Cal Poly Pomona, Darius
Price from Cal Poly Pomona did not play yesterday. Here getting into his second game for the Blues. Kmetko bends over looking for his sign. Now he has it and deals to Price. Price rips it on the ground past the third baseman, Patterson. He went into a headlong dive, couldn't keep it in front, and Darius Price is aboard with a 2-out base hit. Price ripped that one. Patterson went into a Superman-like dive but couldn't keep it in front as it trickled into left. Price tagged that one at 93 miles an hour. Found a hole on the infield, and now the Blues have a runner aboard for the leadoff hitter, Nin Burns, who grounded out to short in his first at-bat. Price leads off, Kmetko comes home, and Burns takes a breaking ball for strike one. Price this past season played for the Broncos of Cal Poly Pomona. 39 games, he hit .243. 7 home runs, tied for the team lead. He leads off first as his former teammate, Nin Burns, flies it foul 0-2. Burns and Price both played at Cal Poly Pomona this year. Burns led the team in many offensive categories, and Price supplied the power. Just a .243 average, but those 7 home runs as well as 5 doubles. 0-2. And Burns fists it to second. Horvat comes up with it, opts to go to second base for the out, and gets Price. The Blues get another hit, but do not score. Through 3 innings, it's still 0-0 on the SLO Blues streaming network. We're back on the SLO Blues streaming network. It's scoreless through 3. And Nate, it's been a pitcher's duel. What have you seen from the dugout?
The guys rolled out ready to go today. Seemed like they shook off last night's loss pretty well. There was good energy in there. Once again, Jake Ruley supplying the leadership and the energy for the Blues down there. And you just love seeing that, contributing to the game even when you're not in the starting lineup. That's something you love to see if you're Dean Trainer and the rest of the SLO Blues.
Leadership doesn't take a day off, is what I'm learning from Jacob Ruley.
Nope.
It's 1 ball and no strikes on Patterson, the leadoff hitter, who led off the game with a single, but was retired on the pickoff move, and he flies it to left field. It's hanging up for Adams, who fights the blue sky and makes the catch for the first out. There's 1 away. Lardner's been fantastic. He's faced 10 hitters. He's got 10 outs. He has given up 2 hits, but he's retired both of them on the base paths with the pickoff move and the double play, so he's still faced the minimum here at Sinsheimer. And now he looks in at Ryan Black, who he struck out back in the first.
Yeah, Lardner's feeling really good. A lot of confidence coming out of the left-hander today. He was feeling loose, warming up, hanging out in the dugout.
He seems like a loose guy normally, just very relaxed, confident guy, trusts in his stuff. Western State Conference Pitcher of the Year, so he's got reasons to be confident.
Yeah, and you never know with starting pitchers. Everyone has their different routines. Sometimes you don't even want people touching you or looking at you or talking to you. You're in your zone. Or you can have a relaxed guy like Robbie Lardner coming up there, a guy who comes to mind when I think of that is Sean Manaea with the San Francisco Giants, a guy that's super loose and laughing and smiling. That's what Robbie Lardner's approach is to his start.
Kind of the opposite of a Max Scherzer type, where you just are scared to go anywhere near him on their start days. As Lardner pours in another strike, it's 1-2. Ryan Black was 2 for 3 yesterday, had 2 runs batted in. Of the 6 runs the Foresters scored in a 6-1 victory. Looking to avoid striking out for the second straight time. Lardner kicks and fires, and Black lines it into center field. Charging in is Burns, and he settles in there to make the one-hand catch. There's 2 outs. It's been kind of a different day where the contact today is going at the Blues defenders, not like it was yesterday where it felt like every hit, every ball that was put in play was finding a hole.
Yeah, Foresters are hitting right at guys. Haven't really found that hole yet. They got 2 hits on the day. But as we saw right there, that's a line out to Nin Burns. Hit pretty hard.
Pace squares to bunt and takes a fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. Pace struck out to end the first. He's still looking for his first hit of the summer, but did walk 2 times yesterday from this same 3 spot. 1-0 the count. Lardner delivers. And Pace takes a fastball on the inside corner for strike 1. How raucous is the crowd? You're down there just about field level, seeing the guys and their reactions. From here, it looks like this might be a record crowd for the year.
Yeah, this place filled up quickly. I was not anticipating that. All of a sudden, it seemed like every fan in San Luis Obispo was just plopped into Sinsheimer Stadium. But the energy is great today on this Mimosa Sunday. The sun's starting to get through the clouds as well. I think that's helping the players out a bit too.
Pace swings and misses. We've got the sun, the fans. There's a train out in right field. And I'm not sure if you guys can see that on the screen, but right there out in deep right field as the train goes by, Lardner looking for his 5th strikeout to end the 4th inning. He comes home, and Pace strikes out swinging. There's the 5th K, and Lardner is through 4 innings without allowing a run. We head to the bottom of the 4th. It's still scoreless here on the SLO Blues streaming network.
evolutionary process going on.
2-3-4 due up for the Blues. It's TJ Adams, Jariah Lewis, and Jason Hansen here. Still scoreless through 3.5 at Sinsheimer Stadium, and the Blues looking to strike first against the starter Colby Kmetko. Kmetko comes home, and Adams bends back out of the way of that first pitch strike on the breaking ball.
Yeah, so far been a pitcher's duel. 3 hits combined through 3 innings, or through 3.5.
Both arms looking really confident out there. And Kmetko, who's normally a reliever, going further than he did all season for Nevada. 2 balls and no strikes on Adams, who bends back out of the way of that one. I think the scoreboard's wrong here. It should be 1 ball and 2 strikes. That first pitch curveball was in there.
Yep.
So it's 1-2 the count. Fans here should ignore the scoreboard out in center. And now they've fixed it. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch Adams strikes out swinging. That's the first out here in the fourth.
Yeah, good sequence there by Kometko. The two Arizona kids going at it. Kometko from Phoenix. He wins that battle with that slider. It's looking tight today. Velo a little less than what they saw last night. I feel like most guys were in the low 90s. We're seeing upper 80s today. Not an insane difference, but it's still something.
Jariah Lewis has been one of the guys that's handled the velocity pretty well for the Blues, and he takes the changeup on the inside corner for a strike. Lewis walked in the first, stole second on the next pitch, and then a couple pitches later tried to steal third and was thrown out there for the third out of the inning. He's confident on the base pass. That's one thing that we've learned over these last 2 days.
Yeah, that attempt to steal third was definitely some sort of heat check on stealing the bags because the dugout was going after that first steal. They were feeling really good on that. It was 2 outs, guy on second, Lewis swiping the bag. He got a little greedy there, but I'm liking his confidence so far on the base paths.
0-2, and he chops it foul. He has 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like there's not all that much of a difference between a runner on second and 2 outs and a runner on third and 2 outs.
No, yes.
So maybe a little too risky of a move for Lewis.
Yeah, like I said, like he got a little greedy there and just trying to test it.
Still 0-2, and that fastball's outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And you could even argue, I think, that you'd rather have the runner at second than third because then the pitcher and the catcher have to work through the different layers of signs.
Yep.
If there's a runner on third, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, that's true. You could force a meeting and probably figure something out with the signs, more thinking going on, more time being taken.
And, of course, I think this changes when you have a guy that's a little slower that you're not confident can score on a single from second. But Lewis might be the fastest player on this Blues team, so you know he's scoring on a single from second base, so it doesn't really matter whether he's at third or not. And the golden rule is don't make the final out at third base.
Yeah, we've seen this throughout the summer with other teams as well, trying to swipe third with 2 outs.
Lewis flies it foul again, still 2 balls and 2 strikes. But he's a fearless base runner, and he had stolen 3 bases in the last 2 games before trying to take third in that one. So you can't quite blame him. He hadn't been thrown out yet. But now, maybe you don't try the heat check again.
No.
2-2 the count on Lewis as Kometko comes home. And Lewis strikes out swinging. It's in the dirt, blocked up by Rogers, who steps across the foul line and throws to first for the out.
It's a good out pitch by Kometko. That slider skips on the plate and makes Lewis chase for out number 2.
Tough pitch to lay off when you've been fouling off so many fastballs. It looks the same, and then all of a sudden it's at your feet.
Yeah, that's what makes a slider so good, or any off-speed breaking pitch so good, is when it comes out of the hand as a strike and ends up a ball.
Jason Hansen takes a fastball in the dirt. It's 1 ball and no strikes on the designated hitter from UC Davis, who flew out to center field in his first at-bat. Still scoreless here in the fourth as Hansen takes that breaking ball, spotted up on the outside corner, 1-1. Second of 7 games this summer between the Blues and the Foresters as the Blues are underway in their 35-game CCL slate. Hansen taps it foul. It's 1-2.
And he recognized that slider coming in as a strike. Tried to put a swing on it, tried to capitalize. It didn't break as much as the other sliders thrown by Kometko, but he fouls it off.
1-2. Hansen hits a liner softly and sinking into right field it is. It falls in front of Pace, and Hansen's aboard with a 2-out single.
That's a solid 2-strike approach, 2-strike hit. Doesn't need to be hammered. Fisted over the second baseman, Horvat. You got a 2-out base runner now.
That's just a strong hand swing. And now Matt Spear, who had a strong swing his first time up, he lined out to center field, hit it 94 miles an hour, but just right at Garza Gongora, the center fielder. Making his Blues debut, a pick goes to first, and Hansen slides back in.
It was a hard hit ball out of the left-handed hitting catcher.
0-0. And Spear takes it outside, 1 ball and no strikes. We talked about Spear earlier on. Had a good season in his junior year at San Jose State. Finished it on a really strong note, making the Mountain West tournament all-tournament team with a 1-0 on the way. Spear takes another one outside, 2-0. The senior from San Clemente, California. 6'1", 200-pound left-hand hitting catcher, and those are really a hot commodity nowadays. If you can switch hitter, bat left-handed, and you catch, you're really valuable.
You look at the MLB, look at Adley Rutschman, face of the O's, quickly becoming face of the league, I think.
It's a valuable position, and you get someone that can platoon both ways, it's a big deal. Spear just has the left-hand part, but that's still valuable as well. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike on the 6'1", 200-pound communications major.
A good opportunity here for him to come through in a hitter's count with 2 outs.
He pops it up down the third base line. It's out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Hansen will get a head start from first with the 3-2 pitch and 2 outs. As Spear looking to reach and bring up JT Ricken, who stands on deck. Sunday baseball on a beautiful afternoon here in SLO. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Kometko comes home. Hansen's on the move, and it's outside. A 2-out walk puts a runner in scoring position for the Blues.
Here we go. We know how the Blues operate with 2 outs, and they draw a walk like that. Could be smelling like a rally for San Luis Obispo.
Rogers heads out to talk to his pitcher. The batter will be Ricken, who struck out looking his first time up in a 3-2 count. He thought he had ball 4, a fastball that from here looked to be a little bit too inside, but he was rung up to end the second. Spear reaches base for the first time this summer, moves Hansen up to second, and now Ricken trying to come through with the Blues on the board first.
Yeah, and ironically, that strikeout fired up the dugout.
Same spot as that looking K. It's 0-1. Fired up in what way? That they were extra motivated going forward?
Yeah, they were extra motivated to get the ball in play and find a hole. They were rather upset at the umpires there. They wanted to completely take it out of their hands in their eyes.
Ricken calls time. It's granted on the 0-1 count. We've seen the Blues from up close. They've got some fire this year, and you're right, they've got some leadership, and it's just a matter of hitting their stride, especially at the plate. 0-1, and Ricken takes it in the dirt. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, that's their next step, carrying that passion over into the batter's box.
Ricken has 6 hits in 28 at-bats, has 5 runs batted in on 2 doubles, so a third of his hits have gone for extra bases. He has struck out now 7 times, so a quarter of the time he's put down via the K.
And you see Kometko talking with Rogers there. There's that signs we were talking about a little earlier with the runner on second.
Ricken takes a front door breaking ball for strike 2. The catcher Rogers, I don't know what he was trying to do there, but he tossed it about 2 feet to the right.
He was looking down at his third baseman, Patterson, and just kind of looked like he tried to stop his arm.
Could have been worse for the Foresters, as Hansen stayed at second. But now a 1-2 count on Ricken, who's trying to avoid striking out for the second straight time. 1-2. And Ricken does go down via the K. Fist pump from Rogers, the catcher. That's the final out of the 4th. We're through 4 complete innings. It's still scoreless on the SLO Blues streaming network.
some strange evolutionary process going on. But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
We're back on the SLO Blues streaming network. It's the top of the fifth inning, and it is still scoreless here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Robbie Lardner has faced the minimum through his first 4 innings. He's given up 2 hits, but he struck out 5 and hasn't allowed a run. He looks in at the 4-hole hitter, Will Rogers, and dishes it home. Rogers chops it towards third. Ricken coming in, plays it on the forehand, and throws low, but in time to get the out at first. 1 pitch, 1 out for Robbie Lardner in the 5th.
The efficiency continues.
Robbie Lardner is balling today. And you told me something interesting in between innings. So whose cleats is he wearing and whose glove is he using?
Yeah, this is kind of on the same note about his loose approach to the game, I'd say. Talked with Robbie, he's looking down at his feet. And you'd like this. I saw the USC logo down on his ankle. I'm like, Robbie, whose cleats are these?
As a swing and a miss by Bellew.
And I guess his cleats are a little ripped up, messed up, so he grabbed Fisher's cleats, the new blue from USC. He's currently wearing them on the mound. Took a look at his glove. There's a Gonzaga logo. I'm like, you're representing all these schools today. I'm like, where'd you get that from? His brother, of course, Mac Lardner, now in the A's organization, went to Gonzaga, is wearing his glove today. Also a lefty, coincidentally.
1-1. That's upstairs. I'm struggling to understand. He's using his brother's glove instead of just using his own glove. I guess he really must have messed up his gear.
Yeah.
Maybe left it out in the rain. That's my only thought.
We did recently have rain. That could have happened.
Bellew taps it foul off our home plate umpire, who needs a little bit of time. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I could never just wear someone else's spikes or wear someone else's glove. And I feel like a lot of pitchers baby their glove. Like, they put the oil on it, they put it in the bag away from everyone. If anyone else touches it, it's a big deal. But Robbie's just rolling out there with his brother's old leather.
I do feel like if there was any position where you could get away with using someone else's glove, it probably is a pitcher.
Yeah.
Just because, pitchers use their glove to catch it back from the catcher, but most of the other time they don't need it all that much.
On a comebacker, on a little PFP play, gotta come and get it. But, doesn't happen that often.
2-2. Bellew checks his swing. Did he go? No, says the umpire here at third. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lardner has thrown now 56 pitches. 37 of them have been strikes. He's answering the bell for the Blues through 4 1/3 here at Sinsheimer. Payoff pitch. And Bellew breaks his bat and pops it up to first. Pemberton thought it was over his head, but then realized it was falling softly and makes the catch for the second out.
Yeah, Lardner is a strike thrower. He'll come in on hitters. And that's something, if you're on the Blues defense, you love to see, because you're ready for the ball to get hit to you. And if it's not, he'll strike out the guy, get the inning going. But I think that's what's helping out the Blues today as well, staying alert, infield and outfield on the balls of their feet.
Here's Rocco Garza-Gongora, struck out looking his first time, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Lardner now has 22 strikeouts so far this summer. He's walked just 1 batter. Normally the strikeout guys are the ones that are more susceptible to the base on balls, but not Lardner. A 1, and Garza-Gongora spoils it foul the other way. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, like I said, strike thrower. He comes in there on Garza-Gongora, already at 2 strikes after fisting away that inside fastball.
Lardner's looking for his 6th strikeout and to get through 5 scoreless innings. He looks in 0-2 and kicks and deals. Garza-Gongora spoils it foul the other way again. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Garza-Gongora, the Oklahoma Sooner, is 1 for 6 so far now in this 2-game series. Did have that big 3 RBI double yesterday. Lardner still looking to shut it down. Here's another 0-2. It's the fastball, and it's lifted in to left field. In comes Adams, who had to break back, now rushes in to make the one-handed catch. Lardner has faced the minimum through 5. It is still scoreless as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Broad Street Giant Grinder to give away.
I don't deny there's some strange evolutionary process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Blues are coming up in the bottom of the 5th. It is still scoreless here at Sinsheimer. We've got a pitcher's duel, and a new pitcher is coming in for the Santa Barbara Foresters. It's Mason Cook, the right-hander out of Creighton University, taking over for the starter Kometko, who gave up just a couple of hits, a couple of walks, but no runs to the Blues through his 4 innings of work. And now Cook faces the bottom third of this Blues lineup. Cody Darcy, Luke Pemberton, and Darius Price.
Yeah, Cook with a similar look we've been seeing from the Foresters. Continuing from yesterday into today, we got a flat fastball, mid to upper 8s. He's got a slider and a changeup. Nothing too different than what the Blues have been seeing so far against the Sturs.
Darcy swings to the first pitch and comes up with nothing. It's 0-1. Cody walks back to start the 3rd inning, and then Pemberton grounded into the double play. Cook delivers, and Darcy breaks down on his swing on that breaking ball again. It's 0-2. And Darcy takes that fastball in the inside corner, called strike 3. So Cook's got a 3-pitch fastball to start out his summer, and there's one away.
Rough at bat for Darcy, and he knew it. Starts it right away, waving at that slider, finishes it with a fastball. It's a little too close to take in the bottom half of the zone for out number 1.
Mason Cook had a 4.76 earned run average across 5 2/3 innings this past year at Creighton, and it seems like the breaking ball is the go-to pitch as he deals another one in there for strike 1.
Yeah, once again, it's another tight slider for the Blues. Got to learn to get on top of that if they want to get any run production here, as there's another one to Pemberton.
Pemberton takes it for a strike. It's 0-2. And Cook right back on the hill as he comes down Broadway. And Pemberton breaks his bat towards 3rd, across the diamond for Patterson, and he makes the play for the 2nd out.
Yeah, had to swing at that fastball in the inner half. Not a great pitch to hit. You got to swing at it, though, with 2 strikes. He gets fisted right to Patterson, and quickly we're at 2 outs here.
Coming up, Darius Price. Price singled in the 3rd, but then Burns, the center fielder who's on deck, flew out. Cook comes home, and Price takes it in the dirt. It's 1 ball and no strike. So no immaculate inning for Mason Cook, who faced the first 2 hitters, 6 pitches, and 2 outs. 1-0. That's in the dirt as well. 2 balls and no strikes on Darius Price. Price, who played at Cal Poly Mavona this past year, tied for the team lead in home runs with a player who played 15 more games than he did. So the best home run to at-bat ratio on the team, and he rolls it slowly to third. Patterson again across the diamond in time for the out. The Blues and the Foresters are trading 1-2-3s here at Sinsheimer through 5 full innings. It is still scoreless here on the SLO Blues streaming network.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Okay.
We're back in the top of the 6th inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. The tennis ball toss is over. And now there's a new pitcher coming into the game. It's Grant Cunningham, the right-hander from the University of Washington, who's coming in for his first appearance. So Robbie Lardner, who was dominating, is out of this game.
Yeah, didn't hear anything about a pitch count or anything like that. Robbie seemed to be cruising, but the UW Husky will roll on out there after finishing his time at a regional.
Grant Cunningham's the first Husky to arrive here in San Luis Obispo for the Blues. They've got a handful of them coming, but Cunningham, 6'3", 220-pounder from Seattle, pitched this season for the Huskies. Had a 4.56 earned run average in 53 and a third innings. Cunningham still warming up here at Sinsheimer for the Blues. But you're right, Nate. We didn't hear anything about a pitch count, and Lardner went through 5 innings and faced the minimum and had a combined total of 5 strikeouts. It is a relative shock to see him out of this game so early.
Yeah, he went 1, 2, 3 every inning through 5. A bit shocking, but excited to see what the kid from Seattle can do.
Cunningham was ranked as the number 29 overall prospect in Washington by Perfect Game, coming out of Seattle Prep, his high school. A Washington All-State selection, decided to stay for the in-state team, the Huskies. And now he's into his first game for the Blues this summer after, you're right, finishing the regional for Washington, who finished near the top of the Pac-12. The righty takes over for the lefty, and maybe for Dean Traynor, you want Robbie Lardner to feel good. It's just his first start in the CCL, so you don't want to tax him too early. And you also change from a righty or from a lefty to a righty, so you're changing up the sight line on the Foresters here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, it could be the strategy there. Lardner feeling good after that outing. He can roll into the off day tomorrow feeling good.
Cunningham deals a fastball up high. It's 1-0. AJ, what's the velocity on that? Cunningham back to the windup, and he deals another fastball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. The fastball from Cunningham out of his right hand, 90 miles an hour. Feels like that's probably the first time we could say that for the Blues so far this summer.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Blues getting some velo onto their roster now.
A lot of the permanent players are showing up, and there's a wicked breaking ball down the right field line and out of play. Just foul by a foot off the bat of P.K. Walsh.
Yeah, we saw that slider right there. A lot of movement from Cunningham. It's a good pitch.
Feels like it's almost like a frisbee. It's got a lot of the horizontal movement without as much of the dip downwards.
Yeah, then once again, going back to the sweeper, a quickly becoming one of the more popular pitches in baseball. Cunningham's got one, and we saw it right there for the first time.
1-2 the count on P.K. Walsh, the designated hitter from SBCC. The pitch, the fastball's a little bit outside, 2-2. Cunningham's really humming it in there. Maybe the Blues try and let him go the rest of the way after Lardner got the start and went 5 innings without allowing a run. Pitcher's duel at Sinsheimer. Here's a 2-2. And Cunningham tosses it inside. Walsh fouls it off. Cunningham working from the windup, first base side of the rubber. He kicks and deals. Checks his swing. Got him. The first strikeout for Cunningham of the summer, and there's one away.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that slider a lot more today. Gets a half swing out of Walsh. Creates the strikeout for out number 1.
The batter now is Cole Johnson, the first baseman from Oklahoma State. Grounded out to the shortstop Darcy in his first at-bat. From the windup, the pitch. And Johnson flies it on the right side. Who's it going to be? Darius Bryce, the second baseman, calls for it, ranging towards the line, and he makes the catch for the second out. Whole lot of pitching here today at Sinsheimer Stadium, and Cunningham is picking up right where Lardner left off.
Yeah, and if you're the Blues and you're Dean Trainer, you're loving that. You're love to see that. Picking up right where Lardner left off, except with a little more velo and a little more bite to the slider, especially on the right-hand side. Creating 2 outs in the first 2 batters.
Another right-handed hitter, Gianni Horvat, comes up. And Cunningham comes home. Horvat tries to lay down a bunt, but taps it foul back to the screen. It's no balls and 1 strike. Horvat struck out in the third. The Blues, now with Cunningham strikeout in this inning, have struck out 6, and we're just here in the 6th inning. They've tripled their strikeout total from yesterday, where they only struck out the Foresters 2 times, as Horvat chases a foul back to the screen.
And once again, we're at an 0-2 count here. Cunningham also wasting no time on these batters. Like how quickly he's working as well.
We love strikes.
Love them.
The Blues have walked enough, I think, already through 11 games for the entire season, so we welcome strikes. Cunningham needs 1 more for his second strikeout in a 1-2-3 inning. He kicks and deals, and Horvat lines it into left. It sinks down in front of Adams, and Horvat's got a 2-out base hit.
Yeah, nothing you can do there. Horvat doing a great job with 2 strike, placing a single out right in front of Adams. Nothing you can do on that play except just field it, get it into second. You got a 2-out base runner.
It wasn't hit all that hard, just 69 miles an hour off the bat of Horvat. And one of those lucked into base hits, and that brings up the top of the order in Daniel Patterson, and Cunningham works from the stretch for the first time. 0-0. Patterson checks his swing on that inside fastball. It's 1-0.
That's all you really need with 2 strikes. Not really looking for that loud barrel, although obviously you'd love to have that. Sometimes the 60-mile-an-hour single does the trick.
1-0. And Patterson chops it towards second. Darcy goes the easy way for the 3rd out, and Cunningham works a scoreless frame. We're heading to the bottom of the 6th. Someone needs to score here at Sinsheimer Stadium. It is still 0-0 on the SLO Blues streaming network.
some strange evolutionary process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. In fact,
Top of the order due up for the Blues as someone's got to bring a run across here at Sinsheimer Stadium or else we're going to be here for a long time. It's Nin Burns, then TJ Adams, and Jariah Lewis against Mason Cook, who's out for his second inning of work. Here on the SLO Blues streaming network, still scoreless. And Burns, who's 0 for 2, steps up. Burns looks at that front door breaking ball, and again, it's in there for strike one. The pitchers are filling up the zone here today at Sinsheimer Stadium.
Love to see that. Now it's up to the hitters to hop on those fastballs for strikes early on in the count. Get creative with the breaking balls later on.
Burns, the only Blue to play in all 11 games so far, as he takes that fastball for a strike at the top of the zone. He recoils out of the way and walks away, and now he's being told to get right back in the box. Burns not happy with the call. He's still being told by the umpire to re-enter the batter's box. Showing some emotion after the called strike, too. 1-2 pitch. It's the front door breaking ball, and it's in the dirt, 2-2.
Good pitch by Cook there. It's the right idea, well executed. Burns just having good discipline, laying off of it.
2-2. Burns fights it off foul down the first base line. Out of play, and the count stays 2-2. Burns, a guy you want to get on base. He leads the team now with 10 stolen bases through the first 10 games of the Blues summer.
And that's why he's standing here in the leadoff spot. You got some speed coming up, too, on deck with Adams and in the hole with Lewis.
Burns hits a little fisted ground ball towards first. Johnson comes off the bag. Underhand flip to Cook, who was covering for the out.
I think the key for the Blues, too, is to get those little nubbers to get through a hole or for a snowball fight, if you will, to happen where the ball gets thrown around a bit. I think they're still looking for one of those, especially as we're getting deeper in this game and we got ourselves a pitcher's duel.
Second game of the CCL season for the Blues. They've only scored one run through now just over 14 innings against the Foresters, as that's down low to Adams, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout back in the fourth. 1-0 pitch, and Adams takes a fastball for a strike. Yesterday, every team in the CCL got underway. Some teams had already played, but the Blues and the Foresters, one of a couple teams to play their first CCL game, as Adams takes that inside 2-1. The official CCL South standings right now, the Riptide from Orange County in first place, 2-0. Conejo Oaks and the Santa Barbara Foresters both 1-0, as Adams readies up for the 2-1 and takes the fastball low, 3 balls and 1 strike. Then the Blues are tied with the Academy Barons at 0-1, and the Arroyo Seco Saints, the only team to have 2 losses, they're 0-2. 3-1, and Adams flies it down the right field line, hooking out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Adams just got going a little late there on that 3-1 fastball. Fouls it down the right field line. And it's full.
Payoff pitch on the way. Cook delivers. And Adams has to bend back out of the way of that one. Way high and in. And it's a 1-out walk for TJ Adams.
He's unfazed by that. Looked like it was coming towards the cabeza. He just shakes it off, and he's at first now. He's a thief. Could swipe a bag. We saw his speed on that triple early on in the season. Could be a guy that could swipe one here, and Lewis is a guy that can trade places with 3 extra base hits in his Blues debut just a couple days ago.
I want to know how good of a bunter Jariah Lewis is, because with his speed, this would be a spot where you try and maybe lay one down with a third baseman playing back and just try and beat it out.
Yeah, left-handed hitter, closer to first base as well.
I mean, Patterson, the third baseman right now, is playing relatively deep at third, and he's playing off the bag, which means if Lewis could get down a good bunt, it would be a really awkward angle for Patterson, the third baseman. Lewis can also slug, though, so we'll see what he does here. 0-0. He looks at a breaking ball down low. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
And Adams saw the dirt ball read. Got a big old secondary, but Rogers did a good job keeping it in front, and Adams also doing a great job reading it, getting back to first. And he's ready to go. I'd like to see him swipe one here.
Cook deals 1-0. Adams is running. The pitch out. The throw down. It is right on the money and in time to get Adams, and the runner is erased.
Would love to see that pop time on Rogers. He got rid of that thing very quickly and throws out the speedster Adams. Now all of a sudden there's 2 outs.
The throw was right into the glove of Black, the shortstop, and the glove was nestled right on the bag. It could not have been a better throw from Rogers.
No.
And with 2 outs, here's the pitch to Lewis. 2-0 fastball is down low, 3 balls and no strikes. So takes on might be on for Jariah Lewis, who's trying to reach now with 2 outs and no one on. He does take, and it's on the inside corner, 3 balls and 1 strike.
It was pretty crucial for the Blues to get that stolen base, too. An 0-0 ball game. You got a runner at second with 1 out, but instead 2 outs and no one on.
3-1, and Lewis wraps it on the ground foul, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And it seems like the Blues and the hitters' counts, too, getting a little too big on the fastballs they're seeing. Sort of abandoning their mechanics. They just got to keep it simple.
3-2 the count, 2 outs. Blues trying to strike first. Cook delivers. And Lewis wraps it down the right field line. Is it hooking? Foul! Just by a couple feet as Lewis couldn't keep it fair. And the count's still 3 balls and 2 strikes. What could have been a triple for Jariah Lewis is instead foul by about a yard.
And he wished he got that one. Probably would have been a triple. But it's a left-handed hitter roping a ball down the right field line. It's going to be hooking. And it hooks too much into foul play.
Preparing for another payoff here at Sinsheimer. Another 3-2. And Lewis goes down swinging on the breaking ball. We're through 2/3 of this ball game, and no one has a run. Heading to the top of the 7th, it is still scoreless on the SLO Blues streaming network.
mankind won't be destroyed.
Scoreless game in the top of the 7th here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Blues and Foresters with no runs across. And it's Grant Cunningham heading back out for the Blues. The right-hander came in last inning in relief of the starter Robbie Lardner and got a strikeout. Gave up a single, but eventually got the ground out of Patterson to end the inning, and now he faces 2-3-4 in this Forester order. Ryan Black, Greg Pace, and Will Rogers trying to keep it scoreless for the Blues.
He breaks the 1-2-3 inning streak, but I think we can live with it. Only saw 4 batters last inning.
That fastball is outside 1-0. You're right, the Blues had faced the minimum amount of hitters through 5 innings, and then they decided to take Lardner out of the game. Sure, it's just some conserving of his left arm. 1-0. That is in there to Ryan Black on the inside corner. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Looks like saw some cut action, too. Mostly been seeing a flat fastball from Cunningham so far, but that one seemed to cut the inner half of the zone. It's a good pitch.
Cunningham face buried in that black glove. Comes home 1-1. And that's a high shot out to center field, but Nin Burns only has to move a couple steps. It fades right to him for the first out of the inning. We'll take you through some scores from around the league. The Lincoln Potters trailing the Healdsburg Prune Packers by a score of 6-4 in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Sonoma Stompers all over the Walnut Creek Crawdads in the top of the 8th at 7-1. Conejo, the Oaks, trail the Academy Barons by a score of 6-4. Here at 0-0, and the Solano Mudcats lead the Bay Area Admirals a score of 9-3. First pitch to the 3-hole hitter Greg Mace is a breaking ball in the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
It goes back to that sweeper again for the first pitch.
Cunningham delivers again and misses inside with a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Blues will head to Conejo for 2 games in the midweek this week, both games away. Won't be an overnight trip, but the Blues leaving Sinsheimer Stadium for a little bit this week, as the front door breaking ball is inside, 2-1. It's Blues at Oaks Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Blues at the Orange County Riptide Friday and Saturday. So no home games this week. The 2-1 is lined softly off the hands to Luke Pemberton, who puts his glove up and makes the catch on the sinking liner.
Yeah, this ball is very fisted over to Pemberton. I'm surprised it even had the legs to get over to him to catch on the fly, but nonetheless, we got 2 outs already here in the 7th.
The way this game's going, we might have a taste of some free baseball for the first time here this season. Both pitching staffs with great days so far here today, and it's the 4-hole hitter Will Rogers who takes a fastball outside.
Yeah, and after a day like yesterday where you're giving up 6 runs and kind of feels like you're drowning in base hits against the Foresters, it's nice to come back at your home park on a nice day and pitch very well, giving up only 3 hits.
Rogers pops it up out of play, loses his helmet, and it's 1-1. Nate, are you a fan of trends?
I would say so.
A trend this year, the Blues are 4-0 in Game 2s, and they have yet to lose a series. So if they lose today, it would be a 2-game sweep at the hand of the Foresters. But they're very good at winning the second game after they've seen a team for the first time, and they haven't lost a series yet, as that fastball's upstairs, 2-1.
Very interesting, yeah. And there's something to say about the winning of the Game 2s after getting familiar with a team. This is certainly a team the Blues are to get familiar with throughout the year as they're in the southern section of the CCL in conference play.
2-1. And Rogers with a big swing and miss. The helmet won't stay on his head as the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, this is the second of 7 matchups that the Blues will have with the Foresters this summer, and the second of 35 games that they have on the CCL League slate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cunningham's a strike away from getting out of the 7th. He deals and misses low. If Rogers were to reach here with the full count and 2 outs, it would be Max Bellew, the left fielder from Texas, standing on deck. Rogers is 1 for 2 with a single back in the 2nd. That is one of the 3 hits now for the Foresters. 3-2 pitch. And that is outside. It's a 2-out walk. The first that Cunningham has given up, and there's a runner aboard with 2 outs.
This is the first walk of the day for the Foresters as well.
Lardner was so good at pitching to contact. Cunningham had been so far since coming in relief, but now there's a base runner aboard, and Bellew, the left fielder from Texas, who's got 2 hits on the series but is 0 for 2 today. Oh well. And Bellew takes that slider on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Bellew stands 6 foot 295 pounds. The sophomore from Aledo, Texas. Rogers is off of first base, and now Cunningham steps off and looks him back as Rogers dives. He thought he read the looks of the starter, but then was in no man's land for a second, and Cunningham didn't realize in time to gun him out.
And it's good chatter by the infield, too, telling Cunningham to step off right away, and he does the right look first at second before going to first.
0-1. It's in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike.
When you hear your infielders talking like that, as a pitcher, you look at second before you look at first. Make sure you don't want to let that base runner advance.
1 ball, 1 strike. Cunningham working from the stretch for the second time. He dangles over, has his sign, and comes home. Bellew takes it in the dirt, and it's off with the catcher's spear and back to the backstop. The runner moves up 90 feet, and for the second time today, the Foresters have a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, not ideal for the Blues. Cunningham just got to get in control of his pitches a little bit more here. He seemed to have command issues in the past 2 at-bats. You saw him rubbing his fingers together. Could be having some grip problems.
Now a single might put the Foresters ahead. And the fastball is outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Rocco Garza-Gongora, the center fielder from Oklahoma, stands on deck, who had the back-breaking hit yesterday, the 3 RBI double. 3-1 the count on the left fielder from Texas here. Cunningham looks back at the runner at second, now comes home and misses in the dirt. It bounces away from Spear, but the runner, Rogers, stays at second base. 2 straight walks with 2 outs, and there's runners at first and second.
Yeah, Cunningham having some problems getting his pitches to where he wants them to. Now we got a right-on-left matchup here with Garza-Gongora, the lefty, and the righty Cunningham up on the mound. Got to be careful where you put that fastball. Garza-Gongora will capitalize on it.
Hit a liner to center to knock in 3 runs yesterday and blow the game open. 0-0, and Garza-Gongora takes a fastball outside. And it's that outside corner that right now Cunningham just cannot spot up on.
No, he was spotting on it last inning as well. Kind of out of nowhere, losing command.
1-0. Garza-Gongora flies it foul down the third base line. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Cunningham wrangled it in a little bit there. That was a good pitch. Good fastball on the outside corner. Makes Garza-Gongora foul it off.
Gongora, a strikeout and a flyout. He's 0 for 2. First time facing Cunningham, though, who deals 1-1. And Garza-Gongora takes the breaking ball on the outer half for a strike. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
There it is. There's that slider that's been working for Cunningham so far today. Wrangles that one in, too. And a strikeout would be huge here for the Husky.
2 outs and a 1-2 count with 2 runners on. Cunningham delivers. And that is down the third base line and foul just by a couple yards. Garza-Gongora fought off the inside fastball, and he thought he had an RBI base hit, but it falls foul. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. It looked for a second like the Foresters were going to take the lead, but Cunningham takes a deep breath and settles up again for another 1-2.
Yeah, Cunningham went back at it with that slider outer half. Garza-Gongora saw it and was just inches away or just feet away from busting it open.
Another 1-2. And Garza-Gongora tries the same line and same result. Foul and out of play. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Blues have an arm warming up in the bullpen. It's number 3, Matthew Gonzalez, who leads the team with 4 saves in 5 appearances this year. But Cunningham wants to finish the 7th and strand the 2 runners. Rogers at second, Bellew at first. The batter, Garza-Gongora, locked in a battle with Cunningham. Cunningham looks at Rogers, now comes home. And Garza-Gongora fouls it away again. Still 1-2.
Garza-Gongora putting up a fight, fouling it away. Looks like he's trying to go the opposite way right now. All of his foul balls been going the left side, left foul line, fouling off towards Beer 1.
There is a hole past Cody Darcy at short. Could be where Garza-Gongora is aiming. 1-2. He wraps it on the ground towards first, but it's right at Luke Pemberson, who runs himself to the bag and steps on first for the out. The Blues have thrown up 7 scoreless innings, and now it's up to their offense to add a run. We head to the bottom of the 7th. It is still 0-0 on the SLO Blues streaming network.
mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Blues are back up. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. There's still no score here at Sinsheimer. Jason Hansen to lead things off. He squares to bunt and takes a breaking ball inside for a ball. That's 1 ball and no strikes. Mason Cook still out on the hump for the Foresters. The Blues is looking to score. No one has through 6.5 innings here at Sinsheimer. And Hansen laces it on the ground past the third baseman Peterson and into left field. Hansen's aboard with his first hit. And he's on with nobody out.
Way to start it. Hansen, it's a great way to start off the inning. Got a little dangerous there last outing, or when the Blues were on defense. Cunningham got him out of a jam with a runner on second base, and looks like they're carrying that momentum into the offense here. They got a runner aboard with no one out.
The batter now is Matt Spear. Had 2 really good at-bats. Hit a 94-mile-an-hour line drive to center field his first time and walked in his second at-bat. 1-0 the count on Spear, the left-handed hitting catcher from San Jose State. The pitch, and Spear takes a fastball outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Hansen has 2 of the Blues' 3 hits today. He singled back in the 4th and has the single here in the 7th. The other hit was by Price back in the 3rd. 3 hits apiece for the Foresters and the Blues now. And Spear takes that one a little bit high on the changeup. 3 balls and no strikes. Three 3-0 the count on Matt Spear, who's trying to reach and put a runner in scoring position. He takes a fastball right down Broadway for a strike. It's 3-1.
Yeah, finding themselves in a hitter's count once again. Base hit ball 4. That's what Spear was looking for here. But he's hunting the fastball nonetheless.
Cook trying to avoid the walk. 3-1. Spear hits a high fly ball to right, but got under it a little bit too much. Right fielder Pace over into the gap, and he makes the catch. That one was hit hard off the bat, but caught a little bit too much sky, and that's the first out.
Got too much sky. Yeah, he just misses this fastball that's piped down the middle. Spear knew it immediately. He just got under it a bit too much. And that will bring up J.T. Ricken, the Duck. It looks like head coach Bill Pintard's coming out there. Talk with his right-hander.
There is an arm warming up in the pen for the Foresters. It's another righty. So this could be the end of the day for Cook, the right-hander from Creighton. Spear hits the ball hard, and he's got a really sweet left-handed swing, but you're right, I think he knew it right off the bat that he just got under it a little too much. Pintard takes the ball from Cook, shakes his hand, and sends him back to the dugout. Another arm coming in for the Foresters with 1 out and a runner on for the Blues. We'll step away here in the bottom of the 7th.
evolutionary process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
The new pitcher for the Santa Barbara Foresters is Michael Lombardi from the Tulane Green Wave. We saw him as a pinch hitter yesterday, and Nate, now we're seeing him as a right-hand arm.
Yeah, some even lower velo coming out of the right-hander. Today, the two-way guy. Got that fastball changeup slider. And JT Ricken will be the first guy to take a look at him with 2 strikeouts on the day, looking to turn that around for his boys in blue.
Runner at first with 1 out. It's Hansen who has 2 of the Blues' hits. Lombardi did play both ways at Tulane this year. 6.14 ERA and 29 in the third innings pitched. Ricken taps it back towards the mound. Lombardi has to come off the hill, and he has no play. Ricken lucks into a single, and there's runners at first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, that's all you need. All you need to shake off those 2 Ks and pass the baton over to Cody Darcy. He's got a walk and a K and a nice flat swing that could find a gap as it has done this season.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and Ricken, who thought the bat was taken out of his hands in his first at-bat, now comes away with that lucky single. And now a runner in scoring position for the Blues. And Darcy, the second-year Blue, takes a breaking ball on the outside corner. It's 0-1.
The Blues needing some luck in this game.
Darcy has 3 runs batted in this summer. He chops it to third, just past the third base bag, and foul. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Or no balls and 2 strikes.
We actually talked about Darcy running at second against the Legends, and he was held up at second with a ball hit in front of him. Did a good job there, but Hansen cannot do that because he's got a runner right behind him at first base, so he's got to take off on the ground no matter what. If there was no one behind him, he'd have to hold up on a ball hit in front of him. Ball hit directly at him. Behind him, he could take off. But you got to go on the ground no matter what here.
0-2. And Lombardi strikes him out swinging. Can't have that if you're the Blues, as Darcy's down on strikes and doesn't move anyone over. With 2 outs, it'll have to be Luke Pemberton.
Lombardi climbs the ladder. Cody Darcy goes after it. Records his second strikeout of the day. And yeah, not what the Blues wanted there, but now Luke Pemberton looking to find a gap. That right center field gap looks huge right now. Garza Gongora shading to the left and Pace shading to the right a bit.
0-0 is lined down the left field line. That falls for a base hit. Here comes Jason Hansen. He's coming to score. Ricken's getting the wave as well. He's in to score. It's 2-0 Blues. Luke Pemberton with a 2 RBI double, and the Blues strike first in the bottom of the 7th.
Or you could do that. I was talking about the right center gap, but he rips it down the left field line, and exactly what the doctor ordered for San Luis Obispo. Pemberton gives his squad 2 runs on a 2-out double.
Pemberton needed that. They've been struggling at the plate this summer, but now he puts the Blues in front, and it is a 2-0 San Luis Obispo lead with Darius Price coming up, and he is plunked in the back. Price takes it like a champ, heads on down to first, and again, runners at first and second. And now we're getting a meeting at the mound with the pitching coach Rick Hubbard going out to talk with Lombardi. Lombardi came in inheriting some base runners, and he's allowed him to score. Luke Pemberton with a huge hit, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, and immediately following a 2-out, 2 RBI double with a hit by pitch is not something that head coach Bill Pintard wants to see, as he was high-stepping out to the mound to talk with his guy in Lombardi. And now you're flipping up the lineup to Nin Burns, who's looking for his first hit of the day. He's been putting it in play, though. Grounded out 3 times. But wants to find a hole here, get some more insurance.
Huge hit for Luke Pemberton has put the Blues in front, and they're trying to add on with Burns at the plate. And in takes a fastball upstairs. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Pemberton with the 2 RBI double has put the Blues on the board. Fans here at Sinsheimer waited a long time to see a run, and now they've gone crazy with the Blues on top. Pick back to first, and Price slides back in safe.
There's some good eyes by the Sun Devil behind the plate there, and Rogers tried to back pick Price. Curious to see what kind of speed he has. Hopefully Ning can put in play. We can see what kind of speed we're working with on the bases. Not too sure about Pemberton's speed either.
Pemberton's first 2 runs batted in of the summer, and they came in a big spot to put the Blues on top. 2-0, and Burns takes a fastball on the outside corner. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
It's a good 2-0 pitch because you're looking for one you absolutely love. That pitch did not fall in that category as it clips the outside corner. Well-placed fastball.
2-1 the count on the leadoff man from Cal Poly Pomona, who Nate mentioned 0 for 3. The pitch, and Burns takes the breaking ball outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. If Burns were to walk, it would be bases loaded for the 2-hole hitter TJ Adams, who drew a walk in his last time at the plate. 3-1 the count. Lombardi delivers, and Burns rips it foul back and out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Right off the mask of the catcher, Rogers.
The eyes got big there on that fastball up in the zone. Good thing he fights it off, though.
Burns is fast, as we've mentioned, but he can slug. He's got an extra base hit already for the Blues this summer and was second on the Cal Poly Pomona Broncos in slugging as well as average and OPS this past season. 3-2. Runners will be on the move with 2 outs. They go. Here's the pitch. And Burns has to bend back out of the way of that high fastball. A 2-out walk loads the bases, and Adams is coming up.
Yeah, and this is where you put the foot on the gas if you're slow. TJ Adams with the opportunity to extend the rally, give him some more insurance. This is crucial for the Blues offense and could be a turning point if they can capitalize in this bases-loaded situation.
Adams with 3 ducks on the pond, and Lombardi back in the windup. He kicks and deals, and Adams hits a little nubber into left field. It falls. Here comes Bellew. He picks it up. 1 run in. The throw to the plate. Another run. It's 4-0 SLO. TJ Adams on the first pitch lifts a soft liner to left, and the Blues capitalize and put up 2 more.
And that's what I'm talking about right there. TJ Adams coming through with a little bloop single out to left. That's all it takes, though, to bring in 2 more runs, doubling the score at 4-0. And I'm sure this is a sign of relief for everyone at Sinsheimer. Blues are scoring runs, but it's usually been via a wild pitch or walking with the bases loaded or a little nubber. But they get 2 balls that are placed in the outfield. That brings in 2 runs each.
And just like we said when Ricken was at the plate, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And Adams has the little looping liner fall to bring in another 2 runs. We're heading to the bullpen again here at Sinsheimer Stadium, and we'll be right back on the SLO Blues streaming network.
that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
The Blues have struck for 4, and the Foresters have gone back to the bullpen. It's the right-hander Zach Yates from Westmont College coming in, as the Blues still threaten for more. Runners at first and second with 2 outs, and Jariah Lewis coming up. Burns is at second. Adams is at first after he lifted a soft liner into left field, and it fell for a 2 RBI base hit to score Pemberton and Price. Pemberton's got the big swing of the inning, put the Blues on the board for the first time today with a 2 RBI double.
Huge inning for SLO. May have just changed their season around, coming through with runners in scoring position like that with 2 outs.
Lewis tags the first pitch back to the screen. It's 0-1. But you're right, Nate. We've seen the offense come and go, but what really has not been consistent whatsoever is the hitting with runners on. They stranded 12 runners yesterday. It had been kind of like that so far today, where no one had scored through 6.5, but the Blues have come through here in the bottom of the 7th, and they capitalized as well, adding on some insurance. 0-1 to count on the San Jose State Spartan, and that breaking ball is outside 1-1. Fourth pitcher of the day for the Foresters. Kometko went the first 4 innings, then it was Cook. Lombardi came in relief of him with some runners on, let them all score and let some of his own score, and now it's Zach Yates to try and clean up the slop here in the 7th. 1-1. And Lewis taps it back into the glove of the catcher Rogers. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lewis walked in the first. Since then, he's struck out twice. The Blues have now batted around. Standing on deck is Jason Hansen, who led off the inning with a single. Blues still want more, though, with 2 runners on. Lewis trying to put the ball in play in a 1-2 count. The pitch, and Lewis pops it down the left field line, hooking foul away from Bellew, the left fielder, and it's out of play past the Foresters' bullpen. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Burns is at second. He's got unbelievable speed. Adams runs well as well at first. Blues have scored 4, and they want to continue to add on to make it a more comfortable lead against the Foresters here in Game 2 of this 2-game set. 1-2. And Lewis slices it into left field. Another hit. Here comes Burns. The throw from Bellew goes to third. And another lucky hit for the Blues. It's 5-0. Lewis just put the bat out there and ended up with an RBI single.
Maybe the softest contact of the day for San Luis Obispo, but it tacks on another run for the Blues. Good thing they had the speed, and then Burns at second base as this ball was landed right in front of the left fielder Bellew. They were able to wave him home because of that speed, and they tack on 1 more for a 5-run inning.
The ball was hit at 59 miles an hour. What did we say before we went to break, Nate? Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And the Blues have scored 5 runs in the inning, and here's Jason Hansen for the second time. Singled and scored the Blues' first run of the game at the top of this frame. 0-1. That is a little bit low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The Blues, usually the saying is a bloop and a blast. Looks like they got a blast from Pemberton, a bloop and a bloop.
They're the team that's finding holes on the infield, and Dinking hits in. Hansen chops it to third, and the third baseman Patterson's going to take it to the bag himself. It ends the inning, but the Blues score 5 to take the lead in this previously scoreless game. We're through 7. It's 5-0 Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network. Grant Cunningham finished the top of the 7th with a 0-0 tie, and now he's out there on the top of the 8th with a Blues 5-0 lead as they came through and scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Big hit by Pemberton, Adams, as well as Jariah Lewis to knock in the 5 runs. And now Cunningham heads out to face the bottom third of the Forester order. From the windup, he looks in at P.K. Walsh and deals in a fastball that is a little bit outside and high. 1 ball and no strikes. Second of 7 games between SLO and Santa Barbara this summer. The Blues looking to get in the win column in the CCL as Walsh flies it out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. SLO was just 2-6 in its last 8 games versus the Foresters. They're on their way here to maybe getting a victory, their first against Santa Barbara this season. 1-1. And Walsh swings and misses at the wicked breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Santa Barbara, a team that they haven't just beat SLO. They've really beaten everybody for a long time. As here's the 1-2 pitch. And Walsh chops it on the ground towards third. Ricken has to dive on the backhand. Throw is falling away from the bag, and it is just a little bit wide of Pemberton as Ricken lost his footing. And a no-out base runner for the Foresters. Santa Barbara has won 30-plus games each summer since they started tracking records in 1995. And they've three-peated as NBC World Series champions, the National Baseball Congress World Series held out in Wichita, Kansas. Here's the 0-0. Down in the dirt and back to the backstop as Spear lost track of where it went, and Walsh advances 90 feet to put himself in scoring position for Cole Johnson. So one ball and no strikes on the batter, Cole Johnson, who's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a pop out. The runner at second is P.K. Walsh as the Foresters just look to climb back from this 5-0 Blues lead. 1-0. That's a big swing and a miss. He was behind on the fastball, and it is 1-1. Cunningham looks in. He's been great since coming in relief of Robbie Lardner. He looks back at second, now delivers. And Johnson has to moonwalk back out of the way of that inside fastball. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Walsh started the inning with a single. The 4th Foresters hit. The Blues now have 7 after entering last inning with just 2. 2-1. Johnson rolls it foul back towards his own dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cunningham, the native of Seattle, Washington, pitching for the local team, the Washington Huskies, has arrived in SLO and immediately thrust into a rivalry matchup against the Foresters. 2-2. Johnson rolls it foul again. Same spot. It's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 the count. Here's the pitch. And Johnson rolls it towards short. Darcy has to go into the hole, and it bounces off his glove. He can't find it as it bounces into left. And another hit for the Foresters. There's runners at the corners with nobody out. It's ruled officially an error on the shortstop, Cody Darcy, and that could be the end of the day for Grant Cunningham. Dean Traynor points to the bullpen, which means the right-hander from Washington is coming out. We'll step away as well with runners at the corners for the Foresters. Nobody out, and the Blues up by 5.
that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Dean Traynor makes the early call to his early season closer. It's Matthew Gonzalez coming in with runners at the corners and nobody out, as the Blues are trying to hold on to the lead that they just generated in the bottom of the 7th. Matthew Gonzalez is in from UC Colorado Springs to face the 9-hole hitter Gianni Horvat, with Daniel Patterson looming on deck in the top of the order. Gonzalez, the right-hander, works with runners at the corners and nobody out. He deals and misses high with a fastball. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Horvat has struck out and singled. He's got 1 of the 4 hits for the Foresters, as now we might get a pinch runner at first base. Bill Pintard steps out of the Santa Barbara dugout, and he is going to a pinch runner. It's number 9, Daniel Hiroshi, who's running at first for Cole Johnson, the first baseman. So they want a little bit more speed on the base paths, do the Foresters. And it's Hiroshi taking over for Johnson at first. Gonzalez from the stretch in a 1-0 count. He kicks and deals. And Horvat rips a liner foul down the left field line. Gonzalez has a 0 ERA across 7.1 innings pitched for the Blues so far this summer. He's got 10 strikeouts to just 2 walks, and he has 4 saves to lead the team. 1-1. Way high and almost to the backstop. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, the Blues struck for 5 in the bottom half of the 7th, and they desperately want to keep that lead. Foresters might have something of a rally brewing with 2 runners on already on infield hits. 2-1. Horvat bends back out of the way of that sinker. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. A walk would load the bases for Daniel Patterson, the leadoff hitter, who is 1 for 3. Gonzalez delivers, and the 3-1 is hammered out into deep left center field. Ninburn's chasing it into the gap. He grabs it, throws into third. A run comes in to score for the Foresters, and it's second and third, nobody out, and it's 5-1. So Horvat with the double, and now all of a sudden the Foresters are answering right back on the Blues. Walsh scores to make it 5-1. Hiroshi, with his speed, made it all the way to third, and Horvat was the trail runner right behind him with the double. And the Sturs are now on the board here in the 8th inning, and it's Patterson coming to the plate with 2 runners in scoring position, still nobody out. 5 hits now for Santa Barbara, as Patterson looks to continue to climb the Foresters out of this 4-run hole. Gonzalez brings it home, and Patterson takes the sweeper on the outside corner, 0-1. Patterson, the third baseman from Westmont College, has 3 hits, all singles so far this weekend. He's got a pair of stolen bases as well. 0-1. He chases that slider and just barely taps it back to the screen. If he didn't swing at it, it might have been going back to the screen as well. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Big spot for SB. Patterson chokes up with 2 strikes. Gonzalez kicks and deals. And Patterson rolls it on the ground to the diving Darcy. He gets up, throws across his body, in time for the out. A run comes in for Santa Barbara, but what a play to rob Patterson of a hit by Cody Darcy. A web gem for the first out of the inning. It's 5-2. And the Blues trade a run for an out. And now here comes Ryan Black, the shortstop. What a dive and what a throw from Darcy to get the speedy Patterson. And Darcy immediately makes up for his error earlier in the inning. Black is 0 for 3, and he takes a fastball outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. 2 flyouts to center for the shortstop from UT Arlington, who was 2 for 3 with 2 runs batted in yesterday. So Hiroshi scores. He was the pinch runner, and now it's Horvat who stands at third, the lone base runner on. 1-0. And Black takes the breaking ball on the outside corner. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The Blues play the infield back except for Ricken at third. 1-1. It's in the dirt on the changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here you can see Ricken is right near the bag at third. If there's a ground ball to him, he'll try and keep Horvat at the bag. I think otherwise the Blues are fine trading a run for an out anywhere else on the infield. 2-1. And Black grounds it up the middle. Base hit. Another run comes in to score for Santa Barbara. They're going station to station. It's 5-3. A little rally by Santa Barbara. And all of a sudden, it's a good thing the Blues added insurance because the Foresters have come across to score 3 runs in the inning, and the tying run is coming to the plate in the 8th in the form of the 3-hole hitter Greg Pace. 3 hits now in the inning for the Foresters. Every ball has been hit well. The only out was a diving play by Darcy, and Pace takes a breaking ball outside. Whatever was said in the Foresters' dugout after giving up 5 to the Blues, it woke up these bats for SB. 1-0. Pace takes a 2-seamer inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Gonzalez has to bear down now. The Blues lead has been cut to 2. Pick to first. Not in time to get the runner there, Ryan Black. Black has some good speed. Stole yesterday. No stolen bases today. He just reached for the first time. Another pick. And again, Black dives back in safe, dirtying up his maroon uniform for the Foresters. So Gonzalez has given up his first run and earned run of the summer. 2-0. He spots up on the outside corner with that fastball, 2-1. Gonzalez now making his team-leading 6th appearance in just the Blues' 11th game. He's been used early and often for manager Dean Traynor. And he has another breaking ball off the outside corner, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's the changeup that's the best pitch, but he's been using the slider a lot as of late. The 2022 graduate of Allen Hancock College, the 2-year university, has a 2-2 count on Pace. Pace chokes up the 2-2, and that's outside on the breaking ball, 3 balls and 2 strikes. This is a spot where Santa Barbara might think about running Black from first. A 3-2 count and 1 out. The Blues have Fisher Johnson, the new right-hander from USC, warming up in the pen. 3-2, runner goes. And the breaking ball right over the heart of the plate, strike 3 called. The Blues let Black take second, and that's a strikeout for Gonzalez for the second out.
17-63, 1-7-6-3. If you have 17-63 on your program.
It's the first looking strikeout all day for the Foresters. It's Gonzalez's first out of the pen, and now the Blues 1 out away from getting out of the inning. But another batter coming up representing the tying run. It's Will Rogers, the catcher from Arizona State. Rogers has a walk and a single. He's 1 for 2. Gonzalez steps off and looks Black, the runner, back to second base. The Foresters have scored 3 here in the inning after the Blues scored 5 in the bottom of the 7th. 0-0 to Rogers. He checks his swing on the breaking ball, holds it back. It's 1 ball and no strikes. One and 0 the count on the catcher, the Sun Devil. Here's Gonzalez's offering. Rogers checks his swing again. Did he go around? Yes, says the umpire here at Sinsheimer. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. So Rogers checked his swing the first time, but couldn't hold back on the breaker here. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rogers had a run batted in yesterday. An RBI here would bring the Foresters within 1. 1-1. Rogers hits a little nubber to second. Price over on the outfield grass, and he comes up with it to throw out the runner at first. The Foresters strike for 3, but the Blues still have a lead. We head to the bottom of the 8th with SLO trying to add some insurance on the SLO Blues streaming network.
destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Leading off for the Blues, looking for some insurance. It's Matt Spear, the catcher from San Jose State. He's got a walk, a flyout, and a lineout today. He's 0 for 2 in his Blues debut. As the Blues now only up by 2, and Spear rolls it on the ground to second. Easy play for Horvat, who slings sidearm to first in time for the out. One pitch, one out for Zach Yates. The Blues scored 5 in the bottom of the 7th, and the Foresters answered immediately back with 3 runs. Couldn't add more, though. And the Blues trying to add, or else they'll go to the 9th up by 2. JT Ricken had a single and scored back in that 7th inning. He looks at a breaking ball down low here, 1 ball and no strikes. The Blues just 2-6 in their last 8 games versus Santa Barbara, trying to flip the script in their second game versus the Foresters here in 2023. 1-0, and Ricken takes a fastball low, 2 balls and no strikes. Ricken made up for his 2 strikeouts by getting on base and eventually coming around to score. His first hit in a while, it feels. And he is ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. Ricken, one of the top Pacific Northwest recruits back in 2022, a top 500 national player at the high school level, as ranked by Perfect Game. 3-0. And he takes a fastball right down the middle for a strike, 3-1. 6'2", 210-pound redshirt freshman who hails from Seattle, Washington, went to Bishop Blanchette High School. 3-1. And Ricken takes another fastball for a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count with Cody Darcy on deck. Full count as Yates comes set from the stretch, and home plate umpire might be issuing a warning to the Blues dugout. Can't hear right from where we are what's being said, but some chirping going on, it seems, from SLO. 3-2 the count. Yates comes home with the payoff. And Ricken hits an inside-out looper to first base that jumps a couple hops in front of the new first baseman Patterson, steps on the bag for the out. So 2 outs on 2 grounders to the right side, and Cody Darcy comes up with 2 away. The Blues had Fisher Johnson, the right-hander from USC, warming up in the bullpen. So we'll see in the 9th inning whether it'll be Johnson to make his Blues debut looking for the save, or Gonzalez staying out there for San Luis Obispo. 0-0 to Darcy is a little bit low, 1 ball and no strikes. The Blues have 7 hits. The Foresters have 6. It feels like the onslaught of offense started in the 7th. The Blues had 5 hits in the inning, and the Foresters had 4. And Darcy swings and misses, 1 ball and 1 strike. Darcy has struck out twice and walked. That walk was back in the 3rd inning before he was promptly erased on the ground ball double play. One. Darcy hits a grounder to second on 2 hops. It comes up on Horvat, and he throws across to first. 2's going to have to do as we head to the top of the 9th inning. It is 5-3 San Luis Obispo, looking for their first win in the CCL this summer. A little drama on a Sunday. We're in the top of the ninth inning. The Blues lead it by 2, searching for their first win of the CCL season and their first win over the Santa Barbara Foresters after dropping yesterday's game by a score of 6-1. It's Max Bellew, Rocco Garza-Gongora, and PK Walsh due up for the Foresters, who trail by 2. And Matthew Gonzalez is staying out on the mound for your San Luis Obispo Blues, looking for his team-leading 5th save after coming in to get the final 2 outs of the 8th. He looks in at the left fielder, Bellew, and deals a fastball off the outside corner. 1 ball and no strikes. Bellew, the left fielder from Texas, doesn't have a hit, but he does have a walk. He's 1 for 2. 1-0. And Bellew looks at that changeup outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Trying to get on to bring the tying run to the plate here in the 9th inning. 2-0 the count. Here's the pitch. And Bellew flies it foul, backing out of play. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Gonzalez leads the team in appearances out of the bullpen, leads the CCL in saves with 4 coming into this game. And now he's got 11 strikeouts as Bellew takes that changeup slightly off the outside corner, a 3-ball count. Can't walk the leadoff hitter here in the 9th. 3-1. And he misses low. Bellew reaches on the walk, and the tying run will come to the plate with nobody out. Not how Gonzalez wanted to start the 9th inning, as now every pitch could tie the game. The Foresters have power, as we saw in batting practice, and they'll be trying to lift off to tie this game. Is Rocco Garza-Gongora, the center fielder from Oklahoma, who comes out with a runner on. Second walk in as many at-bats for Bellew, who leads it first with speed. Gonzalez fires. And Garza-Gongora grounds it into right field, base hit. The runner stops at second. That's Bellew. Now the potential go-ahead run comes up with the tying run at first. This would be the time to go talk with Gonzalez before this inning gets out of hand. The Blues trying to hold a lead and win in front of this great crowd here at Sinsheimer for their first victory of the CCL season. It's not going to be easy in the 9th inning as the Foresters are fighting. The batter is PK Walsh. He's 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored in the 8th. 0-0 to Walsh, who lifts it over the head of Darcy, but he's ranging back like a safety in football into the outfield to make the first out. 1 away in the 9th. So after the pop-up to Darcy, it's Daniel Hiroshi, who pinch ran in the 8th inning, came in to play third base, and he'll get an at-bat here in the 9th inning. A lot of speed. He'll be hard to double up if Gonzalez can roll something on the ground. Hiroshi pinch ran for Cole Johnson and came around to score a run. 0-0. And Hiroshi takes the breaking ball a little bit upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Gonzalez wanted the call. I think speared it too behind the plate, but just a slight bit above the zone. 1 ball and no strikes. Hiroshi from Santa Barbara Community College at the dish. Big time for your first at-bat of the day. 1-0. And that breaking ball's inside. 2 balls and no strikes. So Gonzalez is working quick, but the command is not as sharp in his 2nd inning. Two balls and no strikes on Hiroshi with a tying run at first. Gonzalez flips around, fakes a pick back to second, and now returns to the hill. Hiroshi came up in yesterday's game as a pinch hitter, tried to lay down a bunt, but was thrown out at first as the Blues get Fisher Johnson warming up again in the bullpen. Gonzalez looks at second, comes home, and Hiroshi swings and misses. He's tardy on the fastball, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Tension is high here at Sinsheimer Stadium as the fans clenching their seats, ready to erupt if the Blues can win this game. 2-1. Hiroshi takes it low. 3 balls and 1 strike. A walk would load the bases. It would put the potential tying run in scoring position and bring up the 9-hole hitter, Gianni Horvat, who hit a double in his last at-bat against Matthew Gonzalez. Big pitch. Here's the 3-1. And Hiroshi takes a fastball upstairs as that one looked center cut. and it's a walk for Hiroshi as the boos rain down here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Gonzalez doesn't know where that pitch missed, but Hiroshi loads the bases with his walk. And now here comes Dean Traynor to talk with Matthew Gonzalez. This could be the call to the pen for Johnson, as the tying run is at second base with speed in the form of Rocco Garza-Gongora. Trainer's heading out to talk with the right-hander Gonzalez. And he's chirping at our home plate umpire here at Sinsheimer on his way out. And now the umpire is ranging out to talk with Traynor. The Blues not a fan of that 3-ball call that loaded the bases on the walk. Umpire standing on the meeting. Traynor turns his attention to him, maybe to argue the call. We'll see if this is the end of the day for Johnson. Johnson still has the ball. He's walking around the mound, and Dean Traynor putting his trust in the right-hander from UC Colorado Springs. He'll phase Horvat with the bases loaded and just one out. Could have been a meeting just to talk with the defensive philosophy, and looks like the Blues are going to bring the corners in and leave the middle back to try and turn a double play. Ricken at third and Pemberton at first, playing just about even with their bags at the corners, with Horvat coming up, maybe to try and come home on a ground ball. Horvat doubled his last at-bat and singled in the 6th. A single would tie this game. And he takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Horvat from UNLV has 3 hits in this 2-game series and had the big hit back in the 8th inning with that double that scored multiple runs for the Foresters. 5-3, here's the 0-1. It's the breaking ball, and it's a little high, 1 ball and 1 strike. The zone is tightening up here in the 9th, and the fans don't appreciate it. Blues trying to stay in front and come away with their first CCL win. 1-1. Horvat bends back out of the way, and it's inside. JT Ricken puts his hands up at third, and he doesn't know what Matthew Gonzalez has to do for a strike. It's 2-1. Can't walk in a run here and put the tying run 90 feet away. 2-1 the count. Gonzalez deals, and Horvat chops it to third, just about a foot past the third base bag foul. Would have been extra bases, would have tied this game and maybe put the Foresters on top. But it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looming on deck is the leadoff hitter, Daniel Patterson. Horvat wants to tie this game himself, or at least reach to keep the bases moving for the Foresters. Gonzalez still waiting for his sign. Now he has it. 2-2. Horvat pops it up to center. This could be deep enough to score a run. Burns camps under it, gets a running start. The runner tags from third, but bluffs. The throw goes there. Ricken tries to apply the tag, but Bellew got back in time. A non-productive out for the Foresters, and the Blues are 1 out away. Smart move from Burns to try and get the runner at third. Whether Bellew tagged or not, Burns was trying to go for the trail runner. Ended up being a close play. So a fly out to center for Horvat. And now everything rests on the shoulders of the leadoff hitter, Daniel Patterson. A guy with a lot of speed and 3 hits this series. He takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Patterson singled in the first. Since then, he's flown out and grounded out twice to short. 0-1. Patterson takes a fastball outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. The Blues 2-6 in their last 8 versus the Foresters, trying to flip the script in the second game versus Santa Barbara this year and grab their first league win. 1-1. Patterson pops it up. It's on the infield. Gonzalez points up. Ricken calls for it, and in front of the mound, he makes the catch. It's revenge for the Blues, who down the Stirs for their first CCL win of 2023. Nails from Matthew Gonzalez as the Blues come away with a victory, and this game goes final. Gonzalez gets his team-leading 5th save, and Grant Cunningham gets the win. The Blues come away with a victory, 5-3, and it was close here at Sinsheimer Stadium. this huge crowd treated to a delight of a game, and the Blues are in the win column in the CCL. They're 1-1. What a game from San Luis Obispo. We're going to take a step away and try and get an interview with the player of the game, Luke Pemberton, for the Blues. We'll be right back here in a matter of moments. I'm joined after the Blues grab a 5-3 win with Luke Pemberton. You came through in the 7th inning with a 2 RBI double. I want you to take me through that at-bat. No one scored for 6.5 innings, and you're the one to bring in 2 runs. How did it feel out of the box? Did you know it was down? And after that long of a game, how important was it for you to bring in the runs?
Yeah, felt good. All season, kind of just been swinging first pitch a lot. Had a couple weak ground balls early, so wanted to stick to the same approach. Got a hanging slider and knew it was down. Glad I could score both runs, and yeah, it was pitchers duel the whole way. Pitchers did great, and just glad I could bring a couple across to help us win.
And for pitching, it was a lot of ground ball outs. I know you're new to first base, and it's something you're picking up. We've seen you down here working early before games. How comfortable are you feeling? And I guess you would call it the cold corner, but with all these ground balls today, how are you feeling at first base?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, it's definitely new. Been an outfielder my whole life, but every day getting more and more comfortable. Glad I'm getting some opportunities to go play in the game, and yeah, I'm loving it, so it's been fun.
You guys go out there for the 9th inning. The Foresters have made it close, and they've got bases loaded, 1 out, but it's Matthew Gonzalez who locks it down. What was the energy like on the infield when JT catches that final pop-up to get the first league win of the year?
Yeah, it was electric. Gonzo's been going out there and closing games for us all season. He's done a great job, and had a lot of faith in him. So when JT made that final out, we were all pretty pumped. Always fun to beat the Foresters.
I know it's your second year with the Blues, and this was your last game at Sinsheimer Stadium, playing in front of an absolutely huge crowd. Just how did it feel to be able to be the one that came through in your final game here?
Felt great, yeah. Being here all last summer, and then these first couple weeks, I love this place. It's fun to play here, and I was just glad to go out on a high note. So,
well, the Blues grab a win, and they go out on a high note in this 2-game series versus the Santa Barbara Foresters and get a series split 1-game to 1-game, and they are now 1-1 heading to Conejo this past week. Thank you guys for joining us on the SLO Blues streaming network as the Blues come away with a 5-3 Sunday victory.
evolutionary process going on. But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working